Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's your boy Naj. So today I'm making a video that I never really thought that I would ever be making, if that makes sense. So last week on a random Wednesday, now I know why they call it hump day. It's because I got fucked. I go to sleep at just after midnight, like 12:35 almost a.m., right? And I wake up to a bunch of texts from Chase, Citibank, Wells Fargo, fraud departments. Did you authorize this transaction? Did you authorize this transaction? So I already knew what was going on. Ever since I moved to Atlanta 7 years ago, right? I've had my car broken into on numerous occasions where they would just go in, grab some lingering credit cards around the car that I never really use, and go on their little crackhead shopping spree. So when I wake up to about $300 in fraud purchase attempt from gas stations in the south side of Atlanta, I knew exactly what was going on. I knew it was a wrap. An end of story, okay? So at like 8:30, I go downstairs to just kind of assess the situation and see what else they took. And it turns out they only ended up taking my credit cards, some change, and oh yeah, the whole fucking car. The whole entire car was missing. Bro, when I tell you I walked outside, I didn't see my car, I was looking around the driveway like this. I was in such fucking denial. I was in such denial that I was looking around like random places around the house, like checking the fucking backyard, even though my car won't even make it up there, calling my boy like, yo, did I leave something at your house last night? Like, I don't know, a vehicle. So I played back the front door ring camera to see exactly when the car left the driveway. The car left the driveway at 12:45 a.m. Literally 10 minutes after I knock out, if that. Okay, so I came to the reality that the car is gone. It's probably in the hood somewhere, either in pieces or plastic dipped with a fake license plate, or I don't know, sitting on 24-inch wheels with some curb rash. The possibilities were endless at this point. So anyway, I call the police and I make a report. Then I realized my fucking gun is in the car. It's in like a hidden compartment that you don't really know it's there unless you know the compartment's there type of thing. But it looks more like a fuse box. So now these guys have my car, my gun, my credit cards, a $10 bill, and a fresh pack of 5 gum that I didn't even crack open. Now, when I found out that they took the whole unit itself, they took the whole car, I was literally steaming. I wasn't steaming from the fact that, oh, my car is gone because it's just a fucking car. The insurance is gonna replace it with another one. It's not a big deal, okay? Like, if you would have seen my reaction when I found out that my car got gotten into and they stole credit cards, it's as if you told me, yo, you dropped your keys. I was like, oh, damn. So right after I did the police report, I look at the Nextdoor app, right? And it turns out one of my neighbors posted footage of them. It was a group of 5 that pulled into my neighborhood in a white Nissan Altima. Okay, they had guns and they were going house by house and they were hitting every single car that was presumably unlocked. So he posts this video of them going through his car with a gun. Okay, now what's interesting about this is I was literally looking at the clock when I went to sleep. I'm like, it's 12:35. Should I go down to the garage to check out my 3D print? And I was like, whatever, I'll just save it for the morning. If I would have went down there, I would have been down there for at least 5 or 10 minutes. I would have heard them get in my car and drive away, and I would have tried to intervene, and I would have probably gotten shot, right? And I couldn't have done shit because my gun was in my car that they have now. So anyway, I was steaming because I just felt so violated. I'm sleeping 20 feet away in my house with my wife and kids, and you come onto my property with a gun and you take my shit, right? I didn't care about anything materialistic, not the cards, not the money, not the gun, not the car. I didn't give a shit about any of that. It's the fact that like you think, oh, you know, I'm in a safe neighborhood, I'm in a good area, there's cops around here all the time, I'm good. Only to realize that 5 motherfuckers just hopped in the neighborhood and hit like maybe 30 or 40 cars while you're sleeping thinking, oh, everything's okay. That's why I was steaming. And that's when I was like, you know what? I hope they drive that car into a fucking bridge doing 150. Because who wouldn't want to see how an RS5 would do at 150 against the bridge with a bunch of armed criminals who stole the car, right? It would be like a nice aftermath video to post on Reddit. So the first thing I checked was my AirPods, because I left my AirPods in the car as well. And those are obviously tracked. So I'm like, let me pull up the location of the AirPods and see if they know that these devices are getting tracked or whatever it is. And it came up on a ping 10 minutes away. I was like, oh shit, I got him. I didn't even tell the police. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go visit this neighborhood real quick. So I pull up to this neighborhood and it's like $2-3 million houses. It was just on the main road outside of a very expensive gated community. And I was looking past the gate and I was like, nah, that mailbox cost as much as that RS5 is. I doubt the criminal would be in this neighborhood. So it seems like they headed down that route when they left and they were like, oh, nice, AirPods. Let's set this fucker back another $200. And they tossed them out the window, they fell out the case, and they scattered out over the street. So anyway, I go back home. There was literally no leads all day. I talked to the detective. They said, we're on it, we're on it. I file an insurance claim, and I decide to drive down to one of the gas stations that my card was used at to investigate it myself, like as if I'm in a Four Brothers movie. So I drive down to this gas station to see if he recognizes, you know, the time and the transactions and stuff. And you guys should have seen the thickness, the girth of this bulletproof glass that was on the countertop. Like, I felt unsafe. Like, I felt like I should be ducking type of shit at random moments. So he was telling me, he was like, yeah, a bunch of guys came in, they all got a bunch of stuff. He was like, but I do remember that one of them did pay for everybody. And I was like, wow, how fucking generous of him. You know, he used my credit card, right, dickhead? So I'm down here. I was like, do you remember what they bought? He was like, oh, you know, just the regular blunt wraps and cigarettes and tobacco and alcohol and all that shit. And I was low-key hoping that he would say, oh, you know, they bought some water, you know, some food, you know, and that this, you know, crackhead shopping spree didn't just go to waste. No, I was wrong. No, I was wrong. They bought everything that the gas station offers that has a negative impact on your fucking health. Everything. And I was like, let me take a wild guess that their cigarette choice was Newports. These guys just wanted a good time using my Amex. So the next day I get a phone call that I never thought I would get, ever. Especially at least this soon into this whole process, okay? And it was the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office saying, hey, we found your car down here in DeKalb County, and when would you like to come pick it up? I was like, hold the fuck on. Why are you saying it in such a jolly way, like you're confirming my reservation at the Holiday Inn? You must deliver this type of news every single day. So she's like, yeah, we found your car. And I was like, oh, nice. Was it burned to the ground or was it turned into a Jeep Wrangler? She was like, I don't know what condition it's in, but you can go to the tow yard or impound yard and go check it out, blah, blah, blah. And I go into the impound and I'm like nervous, kind of low key, because like, I don't know what condition it's gonna be in. Like, I was expecting the worst of the worst. I was expecting it to be on bricks with no doors, with no seats, no headlights, taillights, bumpers. Basically a strip project is what I expected. So I get to the car, it seemed to be in one piece. I was just nervous going around every corner of the car because I was like, where's the damage gonna be type of thing. And as it turns out, all they did was scrape the bottom of the front bumper by driving over one of those parking blocks. And that was like pretty much it. It was untouched other than that. The first thing I noticed when I opened the car, obviously, blunt wraps. They rolled a blunt on my fucking chair. And I checked for my gun and it was still in the secret compartment. Guys, this compartment's amazing. I would trust putting things in this compartment over locking it in the glove box, believe it or not. Because people are gonna expect to look in the glove. I mean, you know what I mean? I was in shock of the condition that it's in, to the point where I was thinking, I'm like, damn, for thieves, y'all kind of fucking suck. Like, y'all garbage ass thieves. Like, your theft game is extremely weak. If I were to steal cars and I get my hands on a car of this caliber, bro, I'm abusing and drifting the fucking thing. At minimum, I'm taking the wheels. Those wheels had no special wheel lock. They were just 17mm bolts all around. You could have taken those wheels easy. You could take the front bumper and the headlights and get like $4 for them on eBay or the black market, for example, with the LiDAR sensors and all that shit in there. So yeah, they even disappointed me from a professional standpoint. The closest analogy I can compare it to is like you pay for a prostitute and only get like a kiss on the cheek. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to take the car, but she was like, no, you can't touch it. It's on hold for fingerprints. We gotta call the detectives and see if they wanna release it to you. And I was like, all right, cool. So while she did that, I was like, let me take a little drive over to Maypop Lane, okay? And this is what I saw when I got there, bro. So basically, you enter one of the absolute worst areas of DeKalb County, And the street sign itself is carved in with a fucking knife or a Sharpie or whatever it is. It doesn't even have an official street sign to be identified by. So that's how I knew I was in like the worst cities ever. You got like 2-year-olds walking around with no supervision and shit. So I get in my car. It's a weird feeling, by the way, getting back in your recovered, stolen car. It's a weird feeling. I felt like I was almost stealing it back. So now let's get down to the big question, okay? How did they duplicate the frequency of the key to take the car and drive away? And the answer is extremely shocking. So long story short, I left my keys in the fucking car. Like, there's just no other explanation, all right? The keys were in the car, they were in the center console, and it was like probably one of the easiest thefts in human history, all right? So I definitely think that I asked for this in one way or another, okay? So here's the problem I have though, okay? When I walked up to the car at the impound, I used my spare key or my second key to get in and start it and drive away. If you didn't notice, the car was locked when it was picked up. Bro, these fuckers stole my car, took my key, and locked my car that they stole with my key and took my key. The most confusing fucking people. What species of human being are you exactly? How do you think? Okay, fuck you locking my car for? What are you worried about? Somebody else gonna steal it? You already did that for me. So anyways, with them having my original key plus knowing where I live, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna keep this car anymore. So with that being said, I got rid of the RS5. I traded it in for a different daily driver, which I'll release in the next video. I know this one's gonna stir up some feelings. So stay tuned for the next video when I release what I traded the RS5 for. I low-key can't wait to show you guys. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.